Happy Monday. Or is it? That's a big question right now. Because we were talking about this in BTS just a little bit. It seems that a lot of teams that were successful in 2025, good, elite, just utterly crumbled. And we're in a kind of weird state of flux where it feels like there's still vitality on top of the world, and then just a whole lot of meh coming beneath them. You know, where you kind of look at the year so far, like the second best team in the world is Parivision, who have missed like making playoffs, gone out in groups multiple times. Like, this is just a really weird space. We're going to be talking about all of that in the upcoming show. We're also going to be talking about, before we get into all that stuff, I think just a topic, Quack, we need your opinion on, because I don't think we've touched on. I think it happened after our show last Monday. Valve have decided that we need realism in the game. What the fuck is that? Are you in favor of this nonsense, or are you reasonable?
Okay, so then the nonsense is that you now have full magazines. When you reload your gun, it doesn't matter if you've shot one bullet or all of them, you will still lose all of the bullets that were already in the magazine. My take is that it didn't change much when I was playing, to be honest. I think once in maybe 10 or 11 games on the new update, I actually ran out of ammo. So it wasn't a huge deal for me, but maybe I'm just built different. It's obviously meant to basically force you to think a bit more about your ammo usage. It's a fix for the incessant smoke spamming and wall banging that happens constantly on the old patch. Now you need to think a bit more about it. And yeah,
was that an actual big deal though? Like, how much of the game was dictated by smoke banging? Like, I didn't feel like this is the sort of thing where the update happens, I then go, okay, there's a large group of people who are just like, this is idiotic. There's a group of people who immediately start going, smoke banging was the biggest problem. And I'm like, I've seen not a fucking word. I've not had the thought for months about anything to do with this. Like, I know that certain spots and certain maps, smoke bangs are a big deal, but generally they're not the defining factor of the game. And then all of a sudden there's a small group of people who just act like it was. And I'm like, this feels like a new problem, like an invented problem. Like, Valve presented a fix for a problem that didn't exist, and then there's a small group of loyalists who pretended always that. Like, I didn't see it, I didn't feel it. Maybe I'm going crazy, but I just feel like that's not a real problem that happened.
No, I definitely know that people were complaining about it before, even before the update. I definitely know I at least saw some people say that, oh, it's so boring, you just spam smokes, and oh, it's so boring. How Inferno is one of those where it is boring because of utility usage, and smokes and like an extra layer on that is that you can just kind of shut down any T-side by just spamming the smoke. But the thing is, or some would say that anyway, thing is, first of all, I think maybe this is like a lagging change, because that's the main problem people had with Vertigo, is that every choke point was easily smoked off and then smoke spammed, and that's just how you would win, how you would play games on Vertigo. Vertigo has been removed from the active map pool, but I think Valve are only now realizing, hey, maybe we should fix that problem more at the root cause of that problem rather than fixing the map. And second of all, I just don't think it's really that true, because I still get smoke spammed literally all the time. I think the day of the update, we played a game with Fragbyte's team in the the corporate league that we play, the corporate competition. And like a Sunday league thing, and I think every single round we played on CT side, I died through a smoke on CT side nuke, and that was on the new patch. This is not. I don't think it's particularly moved the needle, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. If you are spamming a smoke, who's out here? Like, I know, what was it? We had btrams put out a graphic about burst reloaders. Like, generally, when you spam a smoke, you spam 20 bullets on your M4A1, then reload. Like, if you're actually hard spamming a smoke in the way that people will complain about, like down Inferno Banana, like, you just spam 20 bullets in, maybe you go 4, 4, 4, but you're still spamming the entire clip pretty much. So, like, that doesn't really address that either. So I didn't really understand the point of it. I think it's just going to be a terrible quality of life change. Like, it's just going to make the game feel worse, add anxiety to things that should be just anxiety-free. Like, switching my USP, using a bullet to open a vent, then reloading it, just so I'm back at 12, just because I feel slightly better off. Now, all of a sudden, you've added a moment of thought to it. like you've added an extra, like that didn't exist and didn't really change anything and didn't add anything to the game or the experience. Just made it slightly more confusing, slightly more anxious. Like, why? Who asked for that?
Yeah.
But that and much more, well, mostly much more, because that's about all I want to talk about this change for now. In this episode, let's talk about, firstly, the people who make this show possible, and especially for audio-only listeners. That is the members. We are actually in a pretty crazy spot right now with our audio-only platforms. We reached over 250 downloads on the last episode of Retake the Week specifically, which to me was crazy. I'm like, damn, okay. People are really sticking us in their pocket and listening. Tired of our ugly mugs, I guess. But yeah, so thank you very much to the members make that possible. They get access to the King's Court interviews, the BTS segments, and of course all other members-only content, of which there is a fair bit. It's been a bit of a drought, just because I've been so busy with my new job, but there will be more coming, I'm sure, in the month of April. But yeah, that's Romich and XL, the contributors who get their own podcast. Need to message them to schedule that this month, actually. We're close to the deadline. And of course, the Court Honor Roll, you can see below. So yeah, if you want to become a member, support the channel, please do. It's cheap. They're not so cheap. They're actually kind of expensive, but there's 3 tiers. There's a reason for it. And yeah. Quack, anything to promo before we get into the main juicy, gory details of the show?
The regular stuff. Nothing for today's. No, nothing for this week, except for on Wednesday you'll be able to read a rundown of the major race on TLDR in this week's deep dive. Okay. Which is mostly my opinion. Oh, I made a on Fragbet. You can check out the definitive list of the top 5 best USPS clips of professional Counter-Strike history.
Professional Counter-Strike history.
Yes. Do you want to guess this list?
No, because my curiosity is more. You've added USPS, so you basically said all of USPS history. That means I'd have to do fucking 1.6 or source, motherfucker.
Oh no, nothing there. No.
Is there a silencer in 1.6? Or if there is, I don't think it's ever used. So you just by default eliminate.
Maybe not in 1.6. I think in source there was one, but I don't know if
I think it was optional.
Whatever.
People can use it, but yeah.
When I say like the best USPS clip of all time, which comes to mind for you?
I mean, it's snacks. Like the snacks ESO one is pretty fucking crazy. Like in terms of USP play, you can argue it's not actually that insane because there's a few missed shots and a body shot I think thrown in there for one of the kills, but who cares? It's a sick clip.
Yeah, it's number 5.
Number 5, you found 4 better. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I made that argument that it's actually mechanically it's not the best. It's mostly just context. And the way I worded
casting, it's
the way I worded it is it's
less about the USP, but it's still very impressive.
Yeah, the way I worded it was that it was more a Sadokist clip than a Snacks clip. I think it's true.
Yeah, no, there's some truth to that. Sadokist, R.I.P. the legend's career. He's alive, just R.I.P. his career.
Do you remember Breezy's 1-on-4 against Renegades? On Inferno?
I will the second I see it. I'm drawing a blank.
He gets 2 very quick ones when they're pushing long, and then he kind of sloppily frags out JKS, and then he just 180s and instantly deletes Gratisfaction midair.
Yes. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That's
not what number 4. Number 3, I had Twists has a really great B-side Mirage hold, where he just like tap, Cloud9 go down in Dallas 2022. Crazy. Number 2 is Caserato's clip from the other day. That's what prompted the entire thing.
Crazy
I genuinely think that's... I think it is like the second best clip of all time. And then
group stage, of course. A group stage clip. Ugh.
Yeah, the list I specifically angled it. This is the best clip in terms of USP play.
Okay, yeah. No, I get what you're doing. It's just I'm going to troll you a bit.
Yeah. And then number 1 is of course Dennis with the ace Omni Crash.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking great clip.
Yeah.
That's one of those clips where I'm like, I remember I was a prime like fan of Counter-Strike at that point. Watching that clip as a fan of the other team.
Yes.
No, fuck off.
I worded it like just 3 clicks of the mouse and as many Frenchmen go down. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, and as a Frenchman watching my fellow Frenchmen go down, I was devastated. Still beat them, of course. Suck it. At that point, it was G2, right? Like it was
G2.
Yeah. No, but anyway, let's get into our actual show. We have, of course, some small event happening still currently right now. Very rude, I think, of Blast to do their group stage over the course of a Monday. Like, You could have just scheduled more games at the same time, hired more people, and got it done faster, so you didn't overlap with our very important podcast. But whatever, Blast, whatever. I see how it is. That's why I refuse to work for you. Let's talk about Blast Rotterdam.
They made that decision for you, didn't they?
Blast Rotterdam, which is of course currently in Copenhagen because it's at the Blast Studios. It's not actually in Rotterdam yet, but let's talk about it.
Sorry, I've just thought about this. Is like when Norway boycotted the Qatar World Cup in 2022. Sorry, carry on.
Very similar, very similar.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. The Fading Legends. It's been kind of rough for certain individuals. Now, the two on the thumbnail are Carrigan and Brolan. The legends in that sense, one is Carrigan and one is MOUZ rather than Brolan. I mean, no offense, kid. You've not really reached legend status for me yet. But they're both going out in last place with very different yet equally embarrassing results. FaZe, a 2-1 loss to Aurora, whatever. You took a map off a decent team. But then losing to Tyloo is just appalling. And then MOUZ, a 2-0 loss to the Mongols before losing 2-1 to 9Z. I mean, that's probably a bit worse, but still, both of these teams genuinely embarrassed by these results, and both, I think, in desperate need of change, with very different potential paths for how they actually get out of this, or what they could actually do in the future. I mean, it's very up in the air. Like, what can FaZe do? How much money do they have? What can MOUZ do? Do we believe in their academy players? Do they still continue to be just like ENCE's big brother, where it's like, okay, we're going to promote academy kids, look for value, and try to min-max the system even more? Who knows? But look, what I do know for sure is right now, those guys are in shambles. Add on to that list a kind of obscured legend in this sense, who has kind of become fallen and broken. NIP go out in last place again. Like, they've just struggled to get any real wins in groups of these sorts of events. They take a 2-1 loss to Paravision and a 2-1 loss to Liquid. The worst part is NIP come out of this group stage with a 51.4% round win percentage. They are one of the best teams in this group stage by round win percentage. But they can't win the close ones. They smash both of their map wins pretty much, and then lose close games devastatingly and go home. So despite winning more rounds than they lose, despite Kaspersky's 120-something rating, they go out in last place. So yeah, that's kind of NIP, but it's also Snappy. Like, these are legends that are just getting a rough hand dealt to them over and over again. Some of it is the hand they play as well in 2026. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts on some of these teams. Like, do you see a way out for any of them? Do you expect all of them to be making change or be on the market? Like, what's your take on all three of these formerly very impressive figures?
Okay. MOUZ, I don't think are in a position to make a change that is meaningful. You'd have to promote an academy kid, I think, at this point, because MOUZ would not be interested in signing a player who is not already part of a major qualified squad. So they cannot make a move like that. They'd have to promote an academy kid, and I don't think that fixes anything in the short term right now. Ask me again after Cologne about that. FaZe, I don't think will make Cologne, and yes, I think they will make changes. I'm not sure what. I honestly think they might blow up the entire team. Like, in this point, I actually very much agree with what Pimp and Vu said just before the loss to Tyloo, or just before the game to Tyloo, against Tyloo. Where Pimp's wording was that Tyloo have the potential to do a mercy killing, as they say in Denmark. You know, when you, quote verbatim, when you hit a bird and it's still squeaking a bit, so you get out of your car and snap its neck, and then you've done a good thing. That's what Tyloo could do to FaZe right now.
Do love Denmark getting credit for the idea of mercy killings, but okay.
I mean, look, he slipped it in there, but yeah. Anyway, it's
strange.
I think that was, yeah. I think it is just over for that team, for a very good reason. It's a horrible team, and I think they are gonna make way for Alliance in the Cologne Major. But anyway, that frees them up to make roster changes in some way or shape or form. I think Frozen and Twists have every reason to be extremely upset with FaZe as a team and wanting to go elsewhere. I think Kerrigan has a great argument to honestly, this is like a nice exit ramp. This would be a nice spot to stop competing as a player and become a coach. You could do it at FaZe, you could do it somewhere else. But like, he's not done yet. nobody thinks Kerrigan is shit just yet. Like, if people will still take a chance on Kerrigan, rightfully so. It's amazing for him. It is just like Brokey's over. Even Jacob, I have some hope for if they just blow up the project right now. It's just Brokey who it's just over for Brokey. As for NIP, look, okay. I'm not. So the other week I had this there was a debate about as it happens occasionally in Sweden. Somebody asks, what would be the best full Swedish team at the moment? And one of my colleagues floated the idea of putting in Exist as a coach, with the counter argument, actually, hang on, why would you put Exist in as a coach? His tenure with NIP has amounted to nothing. And my kind of counter argument to that, or not even counter argument, just my framing of that to like dive deeper into that is, what fucking players have they had under Exist? And I am kind of like, is Cairn and are Cairn and Wrinkle good enough where we expect them to beat Paravision and Liquid? Let's just say those two. Okay, Liquid probably, because their pieces are even worse. But yeah,
that's kind of the problem.
Like,
it's not a question of, oh, we're not going to rate Exist because he didn't win XYZ trophies. It's not one of those absurdist takes some people have sometimes where they refuse to acknowledge Muturis is a good IGL for arbitrary reasons that make no sense in context. We're asking Exist to do the bare fucking minimum with this roster. I mean, Exist and Snappy, that's why they're both in the fucking firing line.
Yes.
We're not asking them to win everything. We're asking them to not lose to Lulquid. Like, that's all we're asking you to do, is to not go out in last place in this kind of tournament. And yet they have consistently struggled to do anything meaningful, just in terms of wins and losses. Not even in terms of making playoffs, making deep runs. We've not even held them to that very often. Instead, when we've had hope, it's been dashed against the rocks, you know, like Lady Macbeth onto a babe. And it's just devastating. Like, it's clutch game, close games, moments where I want my coach, my AGL to keep the boys together. The way Jamin and Dastan have been able to do time and time again, these two have just not lived up to it. They've had talent, enough talent to not lose so many games. That's the point.
See, so with that in mind, with Kaspersky, like, you could argue, like, if you ask, I think he is like in the top 5, top 3, maybe even the top spot on HLTV's little prospects.
He's number 1 on their prospects thing, yes.
That, like, whatever you think of that list, that says a lot. That genuinely says a lot. Because that is like, that's how good of a player he is. And he's obviously keeping that up. He's obviously developed. I'm sort of asking, what the fuck has happened to Wrinkle's development? Like, and what role have like Snappy and Exist played in that? The Care signing feels like, why did you even do that when he's not going to play that much better than you jerks? Or what is even happening with this squad? So
that signing, I've not got a problem. With. Like, I've not got a signing with.
I don't have a problem with the signing. Just in post, it's just like nothing is moving the needle here. To be honest, like, this team hasn't changed. Wrinkle is a player who I don't think has changed, or like since he was signed about 2 years ago. He hasn't changed whatsoever. He's the same player. He's good sometimes, shit sometimes, and just hasn't developed whatsoever. I think it's
they have in the Ken thing is like, they've shown certain things could be better. Like, as in Ken coming in is like, he's had moments and maps where it's like, this is the ceiling. This is why you'd want him over you jerks. It's just very inconsistent. And Wrinkle defines inconsistency, really. Always has, to a certain extent, with his playstyle. And he's very up and down for this roster. I think at this event, he comes out to like a 107 or a 108, and you're like, that would be fine. But we also got like a very poor level out of Ken. Shush wasn't spectacular. It's really just a Kaspersky monster performance again. Some help on the AWP, and very little else happening. Like, they just struggled to put together the details over and over again. And at some point, you do have to hold that against the IGL and the coach. And I do not understand, if you're making a dream Swedish team, I do not want Exist as my coach. I do not have grounds for that. He's not done anything like worthy since Heroic's blast runs. Those online as fuck events that they were good at. Like, that's about it. You know what I mean? Like, he's really struggled in the NIP projects and rebuilds to find meaningful success. And like, sure, you can say it's not always his fault, but you also can't say I've got a good and clear-cut case to say Exist is the best coach in Sweden. He may win it by default in the end, but like, that's not good enough.
Mostly I just mean like what kind of pieces have they really had? I think you sort of have to put a little bit of a tamper on what you expect Cairn and Wrinkle to do. Like they should beat these teams. They should not come last place in this event. But I'm also questioning like, okay, when you make these signings, that like you do that knowing that they have to develop. Those players have to develop. They cannot stay at the level that they were before they joined NIP because that's not going to be good enough. They have to develop. So then I'm sort of like, okay, so Snappy and Exist, what are you doing with these players? Why aren't they developing? Karen, I get it's like fairly recent. We're only about 3 months in. But Wrinkle is he is exactly the same kind of player he was when they signed him. There is to me there is no difference, to be honest. And that falls a bit like, look, it falls on him for just not, it falls on him as well. But in the end, I think that's the responsibility of the leadership, which is the in-game leader and the coach. And that's just such a shame. And also, like, Shush, yeah, he was good last year. This year, he hasn't really been too hot. It's not his job to be too hot, but when last year, the argument was like, oh, so the more inexperienced players aren't really living up to that. It's basically Shush who's having to take control and like be the star player, like perform way past his roles. This year, like he still has problem with his teammates not performing as well. Not really doing much this year either. So I don't know. Liquid, yeah, or NIP rather. They're also kind of in a tough spot because I think they're not locked in, but they're looking good to make the major no matter what.
Well, yeah, because they went off to that Imperium Cup, right?
I think they have,
and they won that one, and that got them. Like, 'cause they had been disappointing at the prior Imperium Cup, 9th, 12th, losses to Monty and 100 Thieves. But this one, they were able to beat Gaiman Gladiators, again, after beating them in Pro League, Alliance and OG, and actually win the Cup. And I think that got them the points needed to no longer be completely fucked, which their results at big events had basically started, like, pushing them off the cliff. Like, they weren't quite off the cliff, but, they were teetering on the edge of not making the major if they didn't have a really big run there. So, no, I'm frustrated because I look at the Liquid games, a prime example. Like, this is what the Snappy NIP has become, like, kind of famous for. Like, you watch those first 2 maps. This is peak Snappy NIP. It's we pick Nuke, body them with our magnificent T side, 13-3, straight into map 2. It's their pick. It goes to OT. We lose devastatingly in OT, and then lose map 3. And I'm like,
yeah.
Like, it's just, you're there every time. It's like the major, there multiple times on multiple maps.
Yeah.
And there's just a factor missing. So honestly, my first cut, if I'm looking at improving this team, it might be I need a difference in sort of mentality across the side. Like maybe a more player focused coach, maybe a coach who's like Eastern European, like Ukrainian, like a coach who comes in who speaks to Ken, to Wrinkle, maybe gives a different sort of attitude to Snappy as well, and helps this side pull it together. Because in those moments, man, it's just it's decisions, it's little moments of imprecision, where they just don't quite execute in the way they have done the rest of the series quite often, and it's just not good enough.
Yeah. I thought you were about to cut your 4th best in-game leader of 2025, Snappy. And then
Snappy gets all the rope he fucking wants. Like,
all right, yeah, okay.
Almost without fail. But my first place would be the coach.
They have about a 55% chance of making the major as of the most recent numbers. I think they have the stake ranked thing coming up, which is pretty high value.
That'll help.
But they need some win. Honestly, let's be honest. This event is quite some ways away, so we're not going to properly preview this. But let me just tell you these 8 teams: G2, GL, Heroic, Gentlemates, Betboom, 9, Nemesis. I'm just gonna, on a hunch, say they need to be top 4 at that event. Do you see them beating at least 4 of those teams in that event?
They should be better than 6 of those teams. The problem I have right now is that if they don't sweep away all those teams, they could lose to 6 of them. Like, in terms of close game, like, I can see them losing it over and over again, and that's horrifying. Like, this should be a better team than Game Legion Heroic right now. This should be a better team,
so.
Obviously, than Gentlemates and Betboom and 9 Nemesis. But even the Gentlemates game, like, they're a kind of dangerous team. They're a spooky team.
That's
Spoiler,
becoming
they
a
make an
classic
appearance in
matchup
the
as well.
tiers this episode. Like, they are not a team to be trifled with, despite their lack of tier 1 play.
Yeah.
It's an event they have to deliver at. Like, that's pressure mounting maximum. You need to deliver moment. They need to deliver in this event, and top 4 might be the bare minimum. It depends, I think, on who they win, like, and what.
Yeah.
Because you have to get to the lower final to be 4th or 5th, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. No, it's to lose the consolidation final to be 4th, I think, right? No. I don't understand how this works. I think you have to lose the lower final to be 4th.
Yeah.
Which off the top of my head. That's going to be no mean feat. They start with a game against Gentlemates already based on the form. It feels like a coin flip. Please, an IP qualify. And again, I'm not really rooting for an IP when I say that because I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
Just to wrap this segment up, can I just go back to MOUZ and just say why I'm kind of dumbfounded about what change they even would make to make a difference in the team? Because did you see how they lost at
the end of the year?
I mean, if you were going to do something now, what would you do to change them? Because did you see how they lost that nuke map?
Yeah, so I've made this clear that right now I don't think there's a change that's like slam dunk, bam, you're grabbing this superstar player, all this bullshit. For me, it's a rejig of the roles, and it's based on I'm going to do this as I usually do this thought exercise as the GM of MOUZ. I'm going to do it as Cyclone. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm promoting Zelex. I'm taking Zelex into the team. Why? Because even though it makes more sense in some of these positions to promote one of the other guys, like for a role player, like make a role player promotion, fit the roles best. I actually want to promote this kid just because even if I don't end up keeping him at the end of the season, having him in the team, given his roles and him dropping a 115, means I can sell him for a tiny fucking price, and that can help me buy someone better. But anyway, I'm promoting Zelex, and I'm making a decision. Either I'm benching Brolan, giving the IGL reins to Xertion, asking him to do those kinds of roles, then seeing, how I can fit everyone else around that. As far as Spink still getting a lot of his spots, Zelex still getting a lot of his spots. Or I'm benching Xertion. I'm asking Brolan to do more aggressive opener stuff, slotting in Zelex behind him. Maybe even Zelex takes some of the openings and some of the aggressive spots outright on the T side. Because CT openers, he'll take all day and all night. But in either case, I'm promoting Zelex right now. Like, I said this on last Retake the Week. I said it on Overcommed. Like, right now, I'm promoting Zelex. It's based on how what I think will be more effective right now. Just until we find our solution in the offseason. Because in the offseason, we then look at, is there a maligned player a la Spinks who's undervalued by the market who we could afford and swoop in on? Is there an IGL, more specifically, that we could go get? Does Alexi B somehow become available? I mean, based on the recent Na'Vi results, that's dashed. That's ended. There is no way you're actually going to get that move. But prior to them winning that EPL, and then now, consequently, even playing very well here, that was something that was actively talked about, actively discussed. So I think that's the way you do it. You bring someone else in that period, but until then you use that as a time to figure out what you have, and also try to do a bit of billboard, like, advertising for Zelex. Like, hey guys, stud star rifler here, give us a good 6-figure buyout, and you can have him.
Yeah. I'm just not sure, like, if there's a single player, unless you change leadership in one way or another, why would a different player not miss those sprays that Exertion and Spinks and Torji were missing in that anti-eco round on Nuke when they lost map point to 9Z?
You can always find a better player than these guys. That's been cleared to everyone. You as well have this opinion that these players are not very good. Technically, there are better players in the scene. It's just they can't afford them. So you do have to kind of say, this is what we have. Yeah. Let's talk about leadership. Like, you don't believe that Xertion's the best entry, or even a particularly great entry. You don't believe Spinks is the #1 stud rifler. You don't think Torji's a top 5 AWPer. You don't think Jimmy is a god amongst men in his role anymore. Like, you don't believe any of that stuff. I may believe it more than you, but you don't believe it at all. And I'm still looking for IGL changes, leadership changes, because I'm aware, cognizant of the fact that they can't make those changes.
Yeah, that's sort of where I think you need to go. I think that's where in the end, I think that's where you need to go. Unfortunately, I still think. I don't necessarily think that means you have to cut Brollan. I think Brollan could be very good in those opener, like T-side opening positions that you're describing. I think he's played those positions before. He's played them well. It's just
washed. Get rid of him.
but I think you need something else, and I'm just kind of holding out for. There probably is a time when Falcons will replace Kixan, and I could make that move.
Yeah, Kixan is an option. Alexi B is an option. Like Kixan is the more realistic one because it was Kixan or Alexi, and now based on Alexi's success, it's now Kixan's on the team that's got these super high expectations, hasn't been meeting them enough. Nico Digel's been a thing. Kixan's a likely replacement. If that's enough, it's a different question.
We need to
let's talk about some other stuff at this event. So I've labeled this section the new 2026 standard is what I've labeled it in our notes, and that's because we're kind of looking at the scene right now, and we've been in chaos, in flux a bit, as far as who's beneath Vitality and how significant a threat they could even theoretically pose to Vitality, but let alone how much do they separate themselves from the field. So let's talk this through. In Group A, 3 teams come through. It's Na'Vi, Aurora, Falcons. Furia also lose in the lower final. So despite having won just as many games as Na'Vi, they don't make playoffs at all. This is a... Oh, not Na'Vi, Aurora, rather. This is an awkward spot where it's like, are Na'Vi genuinely up there? Should we be relying on this form? Like, they beat Falcons. Like, how much of a believer are you that? Like, how much of all of this do you think is going to hold up across this year? Like, how much are we setting the standard? Like, in the second group as well, Paravision knocking Spirit down. Mongols are going to be playing the lower final tonight against Spirit. Like, how much of this do you think is real? How much of this is the new 2026 standard? And how much of it is just a blip on the roadmap? We're going to be back to the top 4 being Vitality, Falcons, Furia, Spirit. No one needs to worry.
I think we're back to a very awkward spot where the lower end of what you might call the top 10 have closed the gap. They're starting to get into the mix with what we would consider to be the top 5 last year. I think we have like Na'Vi, Mongols, Aurora have definitely closed that gap. The thing is, I don't think they're that much better than they were before. I think the others are just kind of looking a little bit here and there. I think Na'Vi beating Falcons was very nice. That was actually the first time they'd beaten one out of like MOUZ, Vitality, Falcons, Furia this year. Even Spirit they hadn't beaten thus far in the year.
Oh, I famously
so that was nice.
Spirit very often at all.
Yeah. But like in despite the EPL win, I was kind of looking at that and I was like, yeah, but they didn't play MOUZ or Spirit, which were basically the only 2 teams that we were looking at in that playoff bracket to be the winners. So they kind of, I'm not going to say they got it for free, but I am probably saying that yes, they probably were the better out of all the teams they played. They probably were the better side overall. Like they were.
If you stuck it without context, that in a bracket with Falcons, with Spirit and MOUZ, Na'Vi came out on top. It sounds like you're talking about a contested 3 with like 3 different hands in your face, like 4. Yeah. In reality, it was a semi-contested layup.
And if the teams they played, it's like, okay, so Na'Vi, Mongols, I think it was Na'Vi, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Na'Vi, Mongols, Aurora, Foot. Those are like the 4 teams that were part of those games that Na'Vi played in that bracket. Yeah, I would probably put Na'Vi narrowly on top of that bracket. In terms of, like, if I was ranking it even ahead of time, I would probably have put Na'Vi on top just slightly. So that's kind of the thing. It's like, but beating Falcons, that was a nice statement. I didn't think they were going to do it. It honestly, for a while, it also looked like they also weren't going to do it. But hey, that was a nice win. And then they go on top of their group as well, repeat the win against Aurora. That's very nice. So Na'Vi probably have slipped into my top 5 at the moment. It is just a question of, is that because Furia are just that much more shit? Is that because like Falcons have gotten worse? Because Falcons, I don't think are as good as they were even just earlier this year. I think Falcons have been better. Anyway, I don't think Falcons are really challenging for the number 1 spot, based on their results so far. And with Mongols, it's as well. It's like, yeah, they beat MOUZ. That's nice, but MOUZ are also horrible. Like, this is not the first or last horrible loss that MOUZ have had this year, because the game after they lost to 9Z, MOUZ are clearly in a spot which is horrible, unrelated to them losing to Mongols. Like, it's so how good are Mongols? It's very hard to judge at the moment. I think to me, I'm going to do Quack's tiers. There's a little preview. To me, it looks like we have Vitality, and we have this gray, disgusting mass of some teams that are good, but just never should be good enough to be number 2, but still they're in the discussion because they keep beating the teams that should be number 2, but are playing shit. You get what I mean? Like, it's just this massive, like, we have some teams that, yes, I'm looking at this team, the players, and I'm looking at the performance that they're putting in. This should be a number 2 contender. This should be a contender to beat out Vitality. But they just keep losing games. They keep being horrible. And then on the flip side, we have, what the fuck is this team? How the fuck is Imma in a discussion to be number 2? But he is, because he beats the teams that otherwise should be. So I think we're in this sort of, it feels a little bit like we've had this before with like sections of 2022 felt like this, where it was just, okay, so we have a number 1, which is like the pretty clear number 1. And then the rest is kind of like, I get like a vomit-inducing feeling thinking about the rest of this ranking sometimes, because it is just like, someone, please just like play good Counter-Strike and try to challenge Vitality. It's sort of how I feel we're doing at the moment.
Do you know what we're destined for, right? You remember how much everyone complained that Rostermania was shit over the winter?
Yes. Yeah.
The fact that post that shit Rostermania, now, initially, it didn't feel like we were going to get to this because Vitality didn't win Blast Bounty. It felt like, oh, okay, maybe there wasn't any need. Vitality aren't going to win everything because no one else leveled up. But it feels like now we've reached a point where we're definitely feeling that. We're feeling like, no one else leveled up at all. Vitality were above them anyway when they weren't, taking their foot off the gas like they did in the second season for a period. Jesus, we actually need to step the fuck up. Like, we actually need to be better than this. So it feels like we might get a very reactive and excessive, almost, in some places, Rostermania this offseason. And I'm not saying every move will be good. So. I'm talking like, as you said, FaZe will explode. MOUZ may make multiple promotions, or if things get really fucked up, they might make like 2 acquisitions, or 1 acquisition and 1 promotion from their academy, and drop 2 players, and one of those players you didn't expect to be on the market, and things just get really fucking crazy as everyone reacts to everyone else's reaction and just piles on top, and we end up with a very different looking scene. This might lead to a Vitality, by the way, not just season, but like year, that looks kind of nuts. Because teams won't immediately be fucking awesome off the back of that. Like, teams will take a while to get good again. So they might just smash the whole fucking year. That remains to be seen. That's pure speculation from me.
That's ominous, I hope we get a crazy WrestleMania, because I could see it being like a generation shift as well, because there's a lot of players now on these top teams that I think are maybe on their 2nd or 3rd or 4th chance. That just won't be recycled again, and it would be cool. It would be, like, my wish would be that we get a bit more of a generation shift in terms of the players that we are putting in Rostermania. We are putting rookies in, perhaps. Maybe we're not just saying, okay, so Xerxen didn't work on MOUZ. What if he was on Na'Vi? Like, maybe not just asking that question.
As would be the case. But yes, I know it's an example. No, but still, I'd be fucking pissed if he ends up on Na'Vi.
As would be the case in some previous Rostermania periods where it is just, okay, so this top talent didn't work for us, but some other team want to try him. Maybe that'll work. So I hope we don't get that. I hope we get more of a generation shift. I hope we get more of a picking apart some of the smaller teams. For once, I kind of hope that happens, because it would be.
We'll see. Anyway. I think the one conversation that's going to keep coming up is who gets the foot players? Where are foot players going? And I still think the end result of that, because that's the big sort of like fresh blood injection into the top, is at some point they're just going to be like, oh shit, we actually have a good team. We're not going to start selling them to you.
I think they're already at that point. I think they are already at that point. I think at this point they are feeling, we are top 10. Already last season they held off on selling players, and the players were happy staying. I think they're going to be even happier staying, especially if they can finish the Cologne Major. Foot could be in the playoffs of the Cologne Major. They could be. And if they are, then that's going to be nuts. And they're definitely not going to sell a single soul out of that team, except for maybe Symmetry, and they're going to sell him to, like, Gamer Legion or whatever.
For bait.
Bait, yeah. See, okay, Sizzy. He didn't really work. Let's move him to Inner Circle, says the Ukrainian Counter-Strike Cabal. And we move Symmetry to Bait, yeah.
He would improve him. But yeah.
He would improve him marginally.
That's the point, right? Like, I saw we got a comment in chat talking about the Paragon Vitality game that's ongoing, and like, oh, maybe Vitality aren't that good. It's like, this is an upper final seeding game, which Vitality is still going to win. Just you watch, they're still going to win 2-0. Like they didn't look like they were that comfortable with
Yeah.
map 1. They won it 13-9. Map 2 started poorly. I bet you they still win. Like I bet you they still win.
Even if they
So,
even if they don't win map 2, they have Dust 2 as a
I mean, sure,
venture.
but I
Even if
expect them to
yeah,
still
they
win
have Dust,
Inferno. Like they're
Dust,
just
Dust
not,
is the third map. Vitality win that.
I don't think Paravision are that close to them. That's the unfortunate reality.
Paravision is also part of that grey mass, but they're kind of unique in the sense that, yes, these guys will be top teams, and they're pretty much the only team this year so far that have done it several times. Like
They
they're
will
the
be top
only
teams.
team
They'll
so
also
far.
lose to utter bums. Like they are
Yes,
very
that's the problem.
confusing.
Yes. They go from 2-0 to 2-3 in fucking Pro League, losing to whoever the fuck I can't even remember.
Legacy
They
multi
will also.
heroic.
Yeah, but they're also the only team this year, except for Vitality, who have been in 2 grand finals.
Yeah.
It's also, yeah.
They beat Falcons and
Yeah.
MOUZ to make that one of those grand finals. Like that's crazy. It is
And
crazy
Spirit
what Paravision
in another
done.
one. Yeah, it's fucking. Oh.
But yeah, that's kind of where we're going to wrap it up on the Pro League chatter. Because not Pro League. I keep calling it Pro League. The Rotterdam chatter, because we're not even Rotterdam yet. Unfortunately, we're just awkwardly stuck in groups still in Copenhagen.
Studio.
So let's move on to the big topic of the day / season. The VRS lands. They're a pretty big deal right now. And there's a lot of them that happened in the last 7 days. A lot.
Sorry, can I just say how Retake the Week coded is it that we've been talking for 40 minutes and then he says, let's move on to the big topic.
Yeah. Rotterdam doesn't change really who makes the major and who doesn't. And we all know that money makes the world go round. And in Counter-Strike, that means major stickers.
Yeah.
Make the world go around. And that's what people are desperately fighting for. We begin with ANZC. Locals Brisbane 2026. More VRS farming from the Aussie and Kiwi scene. Thunder Down Under, because you have to say it like that. You can't say down under. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
They win that as well over Semperfi. 2-0 in the grand final. The other teams in attendance, Mind Freak, except with a slight change of personnel for some reason. Arcade, Abyssal, Rooster, Ground Zero, and Time Waves. Everyone wins VRS points. I don't get how this shit... Like this feels so broken sometimes. Everyone who attended this event gained VRS points. Thunder Down Under go up to, just according to the placement on the page, 44 on VRS, Semperfi up to 72. I think at this point, hang on, this closed on the 17th, so I'm going to check the actual Valve Asia ranking for the 17th, the estimation of it.
I think that Thunder Down Under are up to 39th at the moment.
Yeah, they are second in Asia at that point. I think they still are now. Semperfi 4th. Despite some things that happened afterwards, which we'll of course talk about. But yeah, just a random event in Brisbane, leading to 167 points for Thunder Down Under. Pretty crazy to me how this works. Sometimes like it kind of tilts me a little bit. I'm just like, this feels so wrong. But everyone's doing it, so I guess it's sort of a level playing field. All the regions are doing this kind of bullshit. But yeah, that's the first one. Thunder Down Under.
Yeah. It's
They're
just
making the major. They just are.
Yeah, Thunder Down Under at this point, considering the fact they've won every fucking competition they've played since forming, pretty much. I am actually going to fact check this.
They haven't won every tournament, but yeah.
Since forming in November last year, this team has finished no lower than 3rd in a single competition they've played on HLTV. They've been second in both CCT seasons they've played, and I assume. Wait, actually, who is that against? Is that Semperfi? Because I would love that. Let's go Semperfi if that's the case. No, I think it might be Mind Freak. Yeah, they lost to Mind Freak. They've won 1 and 2 editions of defrag tournaments. They won a qualifier. They came 3rd in another qualifier. They won another ESL Challenger Cup, and now they won this thing. This team is annoyingly, considering who these players are. They just kind of came together, wrecked a region. Will be going to Cologne, but I will also say, just as a small sign on why I wanted to bring this up, is Semperfi look really great for going to the major, despite kind of bombing out of their own their little European thing. Unfortunately, it looks like it is just that this is a little bit of lag because we have some Chinese and Mongolian tournaments coming up, which will result in the same thing for like Lin Vision, Chinggis Warriors.
Well,
the Huns,
we're about to
Next
get
Void.
into that.
Yes, those are coming up in large part. So there's still more to come. They're probably going to leapfrog the Australians.
Probably, hopefully, maybe, but probably not. Because, that was 16th and 17th. that happened. That locals Brisbane. And then we get straight into, I think I've got these in the wrong order on my thing. I just keep jogging them around. Yeah, we get into ESN National Championship. That started on March 16th, concluded on March 20th. This is exactly what we're talking about with the Mongolians specifically. The Huns, Next Void, Chinggis Warriors, the Cube, Mongols Academy, BMZ, 100 Ra, 5-star, some truly elite names. And you know what's crazy? You hoped this would happen, and it did. Neither the Huns nor Chinggis Warriors won this event. They both went out in the lower bracket. The Huns make it the furthest, just to the lower final, not even the consolidation final. Both those teams still gain points, despite losing to bums. Still gain some placement points. But just off the back of that, they didn't exactly gain a whole lot. Like a pretty limited sort of a return for them. 5-star end up taking the win. That's a team with Neos, Ariukul, Clouden, Hooligan, and Rates. You know, big names. They played...
I was going to say, like, News, Rate, and Ariukul. Those are names I know. And they won this event. So that's actually pretty nice.
They're players you know, but they're not the cream of the crop in Mongolia, and that's why it's a bit of a shocking result. They played Next Void in the final. That's Zesta, Accuracy, and MIQ with Urcast. That team, that's a team that's going to come up again as we get into MESA League next. But yeah, a pretty crazy result for 5-star and Next Void. I mean, getting these pretty huge wins over Huns and Chinggis Warriors, I mean, kind of shakes up the vision of what this region is. So I think that we've kind of skipped over is the fact that Chinggis Warriors are like, they're not the established names they once were. Like in terms of who's on the roster, like they are playing with Ligro and Tikwak formerly of Mongols Academy, but they're looking shaky. They're going to start sliding. The Huns, I mean, they were supposed to look better. They still have Score. They still have Zarolta. They have Controllers, Bartak 9, like some pretty staple Mongolian players, but they struggled at this event too. So I think this scene is, they kind of should knock themselves out of contention almost with this LAN. Like this LAN almost specifically kind of fucked their chances of catching those Aussies.
Yeah. So yeah, they are looking decent. The thing is that there is still one tournament, which is basically the Asian RMR, because the Gankwi Cup finishing April 5th has FlyQuest, the Huns, Rare Atom, Tyloo, GG Hao, Semper Fi, Chinggis Warriors, all in attendance. And 5-star.
So many of those teams need to make up like over 100 points, some even 200 points, just to catch Thunder Down Under. Thunder Down Under are playing a major, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah, Thunder Down Under are probably safe. The thing is, like, Semper Fi and FlyQuest are probably in the danger zone. Tyloo look pretty good. I think Tyloo at this point, they need, like, if they get a win, that's 50 points, and they're gonna get a win in that event, because even the online stage is... Tyloo have 3 major wins on record. They can, like, if they win the event, they will probably pip Thunder Down Under. I'm just saying it that way now. FlyQuest as well have quite a bit of LAN wins. I would say FlyQuest are in the danger zone now. FlyQuest might not be in the major, which is insane to say. Semper Fi also have a lot of LAN wins. They just need to beat good teams, and that's going to be rough for them. Sorry, boys, but it's
as we noticed in the Europe trip, it is going to be very difficult for them to beat good teams.
Yeah. It's mostly, I would say, now that I'm looking at, actually, a lot of these teams actually have a lot of recent LAN wins. I think maybe the team who have the most to gain out of this LAN as a whole is Rare Atom. Because if they just win like a couple of games here, they make up pretty easily maybe 100, 150 points, and that puts them in there. It's either them or like Next Void, because Next Void also
Next Void are currently 7th in the Asian ranking, and that's just off the back of that bullshit as well. And another event that we're going to get into. This is a really wild scene.
I'm slightly upset about it. Tyloo have like easily the most to gain because they have 3 LAN wins. That's insane, and they gain so much out of beating FaZe. So Tyloo, I would probably say, are a lock for the major as well. FlyQuest and Semper Fi are the ones hanging loose, and it almost upsets me a little bit that I think they're in a good position to stay safe, specifically because both Huns and Chinggis Warriors went out of that one LAN.
Yeah, and we're going to get into the next LAN of the region. We need to, because that was also very important. So right after that, there was kind of running simultaneously was the MESA League. Funny, they played 2 LANs at the same time. It's because there's just like one city in Mongolia and everything's just happening on top of each other. You go from one LAN cafe to the one next door, I guess, to play the MESA League Season 5. This one, Chinggis Warriors actually win. They win over BMZ, Fury 5K, Magnum Z, people I've never heard of. Like the rest of the team is people I've never heard of. They end up being champions of that one. Next Void make the consolidation final.
Yeah.
So they get another decent placing. That adds to their placings. They lost, the Huns rather, lost to that Next Void team as well in the lower final. So they make back-to-back lower final appearances at these lands. So they still gained some points, I believe. Yeah, they gained 21 points, but they needed way more, really, to start.
They needed way more.
Gap. Yeah,
Fuck,
so
this is infuriating.
It is so tilting to watch this. It's so crazy that there is so much important placed on. These are regional lands with, I'm talking, relative to the main scene, pennies in prize money. Like Chinggis Warriors won this land and won $2,500. Like that's a big deal, significant deal for like a regional little land in Mongolia. Relative to the rest of the scene, this is tiny. This is an obscure little event that has so much weight. So much weight. And Chinggis Warriors win it, and they keep their dream alive, going up to, well, they re-enter conversations of being in the in the major. They're still not done though. They need to win way more.
Can I pose you a question?
Yeah.
If both Thunder Down Under and Semper Fi make the Cologne major, are you putting any of them not 0-3 in the first stage?
No. They're both 0-3.
See, the thing is,
they're 0-3 straight off. Like, just straight up, just 0-3 stage 1. I don't care. Hell, one of them could either one of them qualify straight to stage 2 with these placings? Like, I don't know how the slots have been
Asia only has one stage 3 spot, and the rest are in stage 3. So Asia has no spots in stage 3.
One stage 3 and what?
They have one in stage 3, which is going to be Mongols. It's basically locked. And then the rest are in, the other 4 are in the stage, the first stage.
Stage 1. Okay, yeah. Because you said stage 3 again. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's because I considered it to be 3-2-1, but it's actually 1-2-3, which fucks with my brain.
Okay.
The thing is, I think the way they're looking. Hang on, 13-35. Okay, and the Americas, they're looking like they won't. As the points stand at the moment, they wouldn't even be like in the bottom 4 seeds. Thunder Down Under. So they're not like book halts wise. It's possible that Semper Fi and Thunder Down Under play each other in the O2 game in the first stage of the major.
This is the problem. Buttholes is actually good. It's just the seeding system that you pump into it can create problems. And Thunder Down Under not being one of the bottom 2 seeds will be a fucking problem.
Yeah, at the moment they're projected to have more points than Gaimin Gladiators, Voka, Pain, and M80, who are all set for those final major spots. And even if those teams then get overtaken by Imperial, Marsborn, Red Canids, whatever, Liquid are obviously gonna get a spot somewhere there on the ranking. That still puts them as like the 5th lowest, because on the European ranking, all of them are above all those teams. So yeah, might be fucked.
Yeah, might be fucked. Let's get into a different region now, quickly. We're now going to move over to the US, where a very small, very obscure LAN happened. Nostalgia, I believe that's supposed to be pronounced as Washington Open Cup. This was an event that had, well, only the finals portion put onto HLTV. The group stage happened in obscurity, aka Liquipedia, and in those finals was Imperial, Voka, Ducky Momo Squad, legendary name, and West Coast Grinders. This group of 4 teams played a semi-final final. Unsurprisingly, Voka and Imperial played each other in the grand final. Voka took that home, 2-0 win. They gained 9 points.
Oh my god. I think both of those other teams are HLTV debutants.
They are. They have no VRS ranking of their own. They
don't
have enough games played.
Even,
they're nobodies.
Even player-wise, I think they genuinely have just never. Okay, they played. One of the guys played a single map in 2023. One of the guys on Ducky Momo Squad played a single map 2023. Aside from this event, I'm only checking that one guy. Jesus, who are these people? Okay, anyway.
Exactly. The most random people. This is the sort of thing teams will try. Like, Voka Imperial attended this land. Imperial clearly attending this land for the VRS points. They took 13 from...
Yeah.
13
They
points.
Need more. See, the thing is, if they won that game against Voka, that would have put have put them inside the major at least provisionally, because I think Imperial are very much lacking LAN wins. But Voka won it instead, which actually puts them in a good spot to make the major. Oh, this is exciting. I love this.
Yeah, they barely got any points for it still. They got 9 points the entire event, did Voka. This is the funny part where you look at these sorts of things, you're like, how the hell do we resolve this kind of bullshit? Because, look, stay with me. Imperial are a higher ranked team than pretty much everyone attending all those other events we just talked about by a long shot. Voka beat them. It's a better win than almost anything we've talked about. It was worth, in the end, 9 points to them. And Imperial, who they beat, still ended up with 13 points from this event. I don't get it sometimes. I really don't get it. I know there's more at play than just who you beat, but it pisses me off when this sort of thing happens.
It's unfortunately very simple, and it is just the fact that you gain... Voka already have 10 LAN wins in the past 6 months, so they gain basically no points there. The Asian teams we talked about earlier don't have 10 LAN wins in the past 6 months, so they gain 50 points per win regardless of opponent. That's how simple it is, unfortunately. Yeah, that's unfortunately how easy it is. That's a system which I think is made for top competition, and it ends up having an awkward effect for the sort of upper tier 2 layer, where you're going to have a lot of teams who are half decent, but they've played a lot of LAN games, and then you have good teams who haven't played a lot of LAN games. And especially when you go into other regions where there's probably less LANs, the LANs have less coverage, there's fewer games. I reiterate again that Tyloo have 3 LAN wins on record in the past 6 months. Match wins, that is, just to be clear. So yeah, it ends up being very awkward. But yeah, this is nostalgia Washington. Jesus Christ! Like, one event, Imperial. Actually, I think they really need that win, because Voka already have a full bucket. They gain nothing from that LAN win, but Imperial could have gained like 30 points if they beat Voka, and that would have been a game changer for them, considering they are currently about 30 points away from a major spot. The way it's looking.
Yeah. Let's get into China. China. They also had an event, XSE Loop Cup.
Yeah, this one happens. XSE happens routinely, I think.
Yeah. And so it's a close qualifier into just a single limb bracket with Linvision, Morningstar, Rare Atom, and Last Bullet. Rare Atom in desperate need of anything positive, really, after generally getting walked like a dog by Boros in every qualifier they attend. It seems to be.
Yes.
It just keeps happening to them. But yes, they face Last Bullet in their semi. They win it. Linvision 2-0 Morningstar. Morningstar actually take a 4-point loss. I don't know what's going on, but the Chinese, I'm sorry, you guys are the first people of the day to lose VRS points in the VRS LAN retake. That's Morningstar and Last Bullet both losing some points. And then the grand final, Linvision 3-0 Rare Atom. Rare Atom honestly just don't look very good right now. Despite the fact that you say they got a lot to gain, it's just, for me, hard to imagine them gaining what they need to gain. Just because they're kind of shit.
Yeah. See, that's true. I'm just trying to figure out, what the fuck can Linvision even do? Why? Because why do they not gain more? What are they supposed to do? How will they make the major?
Should be Australian and play 6 fucking BO3s against random Australians you've never heard of, and then make the major, because that makes sense. It just works, Quack. It just works. Unintentionally, by trying to create a truly meritocratic system, we've reintroduced the charity regional LAN qualifiers of old. And now the Aussies, for beating Aussies, get to attend the global major. Fucking sick. It just works. It just works. I hate it. It's VRS by proxy, and it's so annoying. It's VRS, what are they called?
RMR.
It's RMR by proxy, that's what it is. But down to the point where you don't even have to play the rest of Asia to come through the Asian fucking region. It's boggling me. Absolutely boggling me. So yeah, Linvision got 10 spots off the back of that win. They are 6th right now in the Asian scene, which means currently they're not making the major, right? You said it's 5 teams from Asia making it.
Who do you mean? Sorry.
Linvision, they're currently 6th, so they're not making the major.
Yeah. And they don't have a lot to play. I don't think they have. They are like the only team in this major race who are not in that LAN I just described, that Gankui Cup thing.
So they're just not making the major at this point.
That I think pretty much, yeah. They're just not making the major. If they, yeah, because what the fuck are they gonna do? Now it's too late to find an event. I think, but they still won the last event they played, so I think they just fumbled the bag.
Yeah, it's become more. It's actually just more important to understand VRS than to be good at CS at this point. That's the reality of Tier 2 CS. It has become more important to understand which games to play than actually be fucking good at the game. Because just being Australian and playing Australian games is worth more than all the wins Linvision have racked up this season. Like, just look at their game history. They've smashed half of China and Mongolia straight series, game after game. But guess what? You didn't play at that random fucking Biok in Brisbane, so get fucked. You picked the wrong games, retard, stay at home. Thunder down under the major. What the fuck? I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate this.
It might be true.
It means nothing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm not sure what Linvision are supposed to do. I think Linvision are just screwed. Mischief still puts them at a... I've just checked. He still puts them in the major with a 41% chance, but he also says it's extremely fucking volatile. Like, the percentages mean nothing. He still puts them 5th. He still says they're gonna make it. I think Semper Fi are making it, to be honest. I know I've backed them just because they're good lads, but at this point I am genuinely backing them.
Just mathematically.
Mathematically, they look good. I think they're 6th at worst. And that'll be the worst case.
Well, that's missing.
Jesus.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, that's missing. But, like, that is absolute worst case, going 6th.
But yeah, finally, we had an event in Brazil. The Aorus League Brazil. So, let's see here. Again, an online stage that is not covered by HLTV, but then a playoff stage with 4 teams, Odic, Galoris, Bounty Hunters, and Crashers. Funnily enough, Bounty Hunters Crashers ended up in a 1-0 default. Crashers simply forfeited the match. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe you have some insight you can dig up whilst I talk through this, because I don't know what happened. There's no explanation on HLTV. Maybe there is on Wikipedia. But that's a default win for Bounty Hunters. Is that worth any points for them?
Yes, it counts just the same as a regular loss.
Oh, God. So
or win.
So Bounty Hunters, yeah, they do get 27 points out of this event because in the grand final they faced Odic, who beat Galoris 2-0, and Odic went ahead and beat them 2-0 as well. So Bounty Hunters win 0 maps of actual play and gain 27 points. You love to see it. You love to see it. Odic get 38 points, though, for themselves, winning actual series back-to-back. They got 71 in the overall VRS. I need to reopen the overall ranking for the Americas to see what sort of help that was. Very little. They are currently 15th in the Americas VRS off the back of it. A long way removed from the teams in the top 10, which starts at Gaming Gladiators with a 1243. So this event probably the least relevant of all the events we've covered in terms of who will actually qualify for the major. But we have to. We're going to cover this stuff. Like all these little lands, we're going to cover them. But yeah, Odic take a land win. But it wasn't in Australia, so there you go.
See, that's nice for them. Thankfully, these teams are not really in the major race. You can kind of count out both of them, which is thankfully for our sanity. They are not really a factor. So that's good.
It's keeping me sane that Thunder Down Under will be at the major. That's
No. I mean, further headaches are not spewed on by the fact that Odic and Bounty Hunters would make it by getting a forfeit win against Crashers, because thankfully both of them are basically out of contention.
Yeah, no, in that sense, that's fair enough. But yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I hate this system right now. Like, I actually have. I've always said a lot of good things about VRS historically, and the way it works. We have limit tested to the point where we found the clear things that need to be addressed somehow. Like, there needs to be adjustment, because Thunder Down Under have not deserved an Asian major spot. I'm just going to say it. If they make the major, it is undeserved. And you'll say, but the rules, because you're that kind of person, but I hate it. I could be talking about Quack, I could be talking to a member of the audience. Definitely talking about Quack. But this sort of thing just irks me.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, I think they've only made it because Australia spammed out a bunch of LAN events they could play. That's probably because I was about to say that, like, but
I knew that's.
I mean, yeah, probably Huns and Chinggis Warriors had the chance to make the same thing happen, and they fumbled it clearly, as we mentioned previously.
Yeah, but still, we're talking about like a Lim Vision.
Yeah, even then, it's like they definitely still shouldn't be at having that same opportunity, Thunder Down Under. Like, it still shouldn't be.
They have played 0 games on LAN, I think, against anyone who's outside of Oceania. They have played the Bucharest Asia Close Qualifier. They played in Asia. They didn't win a game. They got 2-0 by the Huns and lost 2-1 to Legion, the Pakistani team. Now, one map was a default, and I'm assuming there was a bunch of tech issues. But no, when they... Oh, fuck. When they surrendered, Legion were up 12-6. In the map that they forfeited. So, I don't really understand how anyone can have any respect for what Thunder Down Under, the org, because I don't think it's the same team. Or is it the same team?
I don't think it's an org.
Oh, the org, the banner, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a nothing team that... No, it is the same roster. Damn, fuck. That was getting crushed by a Pakistani roster. That team, you're going to tell me, is the 3rd best in Asia, or 2nd best in Asia, per the system. The system is clearly fucked. Utterly fucked.
Why did they fucking forfeit this game? Whatever the case.
Scheduling conflict. They forfeited a map. They still then lost the final map of the series, 13-4, to again.
Oh, okay, they forfeited the first
team.
map. Okay, yeah.
They forfeited the second map. They won the first.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like, it's a bloody mess. Shout out Legion's player bloody. Thank you. They have literally been able to defraud the RS. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, I can make an argument in favor
Fix
of
it.
them.
VRS gods. Valve. Come in.
My main
This is a
argument
change we
is
actually
it's
want, by
funny.
the way, Valve. I know... crap. Actually, no, fuck. We need to not want this. No one talk about this again. Maybe Valve will address it.
See, this is the way it works in other tactical shooters, such as Rainbow Six.
Yeah. In Rainbow Six, right? If you want to make it through the Asian region, playing against the rest of the Asian scene and winning helps qualify for events. Playing against people from your country for 4 days straight in Brisbane, or not sure if both lands were in Brisbane, but at least one of them was, doesn't automatically qualify you to the major for the Asian scene. I'd recommend seeing how they do it, and maybe taking some pointers, because this is piss take.
Yep. Let's move on. This is a little bit uninteresting, to be honest. At this point, we've harped on enough about Thunder Down Under. My main argument for why it should happen is because it's really fucking funny, to be honest.
Yeah, but like that's that way lies nihilism. I'm not.
I can at least comfort you with the fact that they will not contribute to adding more Asian spots to the next major. They will not.
As a based Europe maxing Chad, I approve.
Yeah. So
we need more European teams in the next major. That's true. You raise a fair case. Bring Semper Fi to the major. Actually, fuck it.
Semper Fi, I'm all for going to the major in any case. Fuck yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah, they also won't gain any spots for the Asian in the next major.
No, but I will love watching those games. Those games will be the best games of the entire major.
Up next, Cock of the Week. Let's get into it. No intro still. I still haven't bothered recreating it. Quack, you've made another terrible decision, I hear. What's going on with your Cock of the Week?
So, for this week, my cock is actually a player who hasn't said anything publicly, hasn't said anything explicitly. Ooh, my bad. This is Kios, who I know you are a massive fan of.
I just love his game.
I know
I'm a knower, a ball knower, and I think Kios, he might be the greatest rifler to have ever played the game. I think there's nothing more legitimate than his run to the Blast Paris Major Final. The level of play on display, unparalleled, unmatched. Nico could honestly kiss his feet. Like that's what I think about Kios.
Yep. And this is if you go back, listen to the Retake the Week back catalog, you will find this to be true. You will find it to be true that Kingt verbatim said that it was actually Kios who deserved to win that Paris major.
Yep. So I was a fraud in front of the great man Kios.
Yeah, thank you, Kios, for your contributions. Thank you, Isak. As always, this has always been a podcast about the 2023 Gamer Legion lineup.
Pretty much.
Anyway, he was approached by K Busy, a fellow podcaster, who I will reiterate what I said in BTS. I have never listened to the show, so I don't know if it's any good. But he keeps getting good guests, so I don't know if he's just a very smooth talker in DMs, or if he's actually just doing persistent. A good show.
In my experience with trying to get people to do interviews or come on shows, it's just about trying. Yeah. Like you just have to cast a wide net across the scene and hope some people come back.
Because Maui's never been on Retake the Week, but he's been there.
Well, I've also never asked, to be fair.
See, he's
been on the double swing like 4 times. But I just never asked him to go on Retake the Week. Because why would I?
Yeah. Anyway, he posts a DM conversation from Instagram, I believe. Interesting. Not often that Pro CS stuff happens over there. Where he's talking to Kios, and he has asked, "Do you want to come on the show?" Basically, he's asking, "Do you want to come on the show?" Which is called Halftime with K Busy, and Kios has replied, "Hey. I assume it's this show you mean," sends the screenshot of the YouTube feed, and then he says, yeah, if it is this one, I'd come on for 650 euros an hour. Which is... I just think it is fucking hilarious to imagine that Kios thinks a podcast appearance by Kios in 2026 is worth 650 euros to anyone. Like, that's honestly just why he is the cock of the week. And I might get bashed for including this at all, because this tweet has since been deleted. But so, like, if there's some behind the scenes conflicts, I don't know, then yeah, shit on me. But I just think it's very funny that Kios, a player who I would describe as down on his luck in 2026, thinks that going on a podcast to potentially advertise himself as a player, potentially advertise himself as a personality, thinks that actually, for me to spend this hour, I need 650 euros.
Okay. Now, I could bash on this selection in a multitude of ways, but I'm firstly going to rip on you, Quack, because you just picked the wrong person. Like, you straight up picked the wrong person. There are 2 people involved in this conversation. Let me explain to you how this conversation went. Person asked the other person. Let's say A asked B, "Would you like to do something for me? Provide a service?" Person B has responded with what he'd be willing to do that service for, monetarily. The other person has clearly, person A has clearly gone, "Oh, that's way too fucking much." Now, what that person has then done is leaked a private conversation online. Your cock of the week is simple. It's someone leaking DMs for no good damn reason. He hasn't been called a slur. He hasn't been insulted, harassed, threatened. He has had a normal conversation that happens a billion times a day everywhere around the world. "I would like this from you. It will cost you this. I can't pay that." Should have been the end of the discussion. Instead, he posts that shit online to try and clown him. K Busy should be cock of the week. And I think there's a reason he deleted it, because he knew he was cock of the week.
I think so as well. Yeah.
The fact that you would want to hate on him so much, Kios, just for demanding too much for his services. I agree. I would never pay 650 euros for an hour of Kios's opinions or stories or fucking oral sex for all I give a shit. I would never pay 650 euros to anyone for that. But that's not the point. That would be good. Kios has every right. Kios has every right to demand whatever price he wants for an hour of his time. And
he does.
And that's the end of it. That should not be leaked. So the fact that it does get leaked online, K Busy, you are the new, more official cock of the week. I'm sorry. Just because a player is unreasonable with his pricing doesn't mean you leak his DMs. Like, the fuck?
I can concur. That's a dick move. I can concur that it's a dick move, and that's cock.
Synonymous to what? Sorry.
Yes. That's a second cock. But
it's the cock.
You just also think it is funny to price yourself at 650 euros an hour to do anything, to be honest. Especially when...
Have you heard of consultants?
Yes.
They shamelessly price themselves at that, no matter what, minimum. So I'm very happy with a pro player saying an hour of his time, like, of actual created product that we can visibly see and tangibly understand, could charge 650 euros. Yeah, 100%. Especially if he doesn't want to fucking do it really. If he's just reluctantly agreeing to something, 650 euros, you'll get by full effort. Like, there's a lot of things I would do for 650 euros an hour, as I explained in our BTS. Like, I'm perfectly fine with that pricing.
I mean, what he's also posted up here is that you can also get coaching from Kios for $119 a month. That's like a sixth of that price. You can get a month of personal coaching by Kios.
Yeah,
it's a service that a lot of players do. Which I also just think is funny is that he would rather sit and explain Counter-Strike over and over again to somebody who is bad at the game. Let's face it, nobody who's actually good at the game will ask for this kind of coaching. He'd rather do that than sit and market himself and talk about Counter-Strike professionally for an hour. Like, to be honest, it is mostly just that he could just have said, no, I don't want to do that. And that would have been fine. Because I think he should know that nobody's going to pay 650 euro for that hour.
Doesn't matter, though. Doesn't matter, because...
That's why I think it's calculated. I think
this is something you should apply to your own life. If you don't want to do something, like, really, but instead of just saying no, you're like, what if they gave me a stupid fucking amount of money for it? Just present that instead. You're more likely to make money in the long run.
Yeah.
Than just saying no to this kind of bullshit. Like, 100%. It's like saying this. I'm an apple farmer. I have a bunch of orchards. Motherfucker comes up to me, he's like, I would like to buy your blackberries. I look at him and go, okay, pay me 700 quid for 100 grams of blackberries. If that idiot then pays me 700 quid, I will plant a blackberry bush. And I'll give him his 100 grams of blackberries. In reality, I'm doing just fine with what I know how to do and can do, which for him is coaching and understanding the game and teaching it. He's very happy to in private conversations. Clearly, he's very happy in private conversations, unlike certain K-Busy, who wants to stick private conversations on the internet. He's happy doing what he knows, growing his apples, right? This motherfucker's asking for blackberries. He's told him the price for blackberries at the fucking apple farm, okay? Like, yeah, that's all that's happened.
I see the point. And I agree with it. I just think that, like, he could just have said, like, the reason why I think this is Cock of the Week is that if he just didn't want to do it, he would just have said no. He wouldn't have done this if he just didn't want to do it, is the thing. He would just have said, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that. Because it's much less of a hassle. It's just way less of a hassle. And that's why I think, no, he seriously thinks that anyone would pay 650 euro to have Kios on a podcast. He seriously thinks that.
If he seriously thinks that, he's not going to be the one waiting for people to approach him to be on a podcast. He would be reaching out to people and saying, I will come on your podcast for 650 euros. Like, I think you've misread that. Like, no, he doesn't seriously believe
I think that's true.
He has placed that price on that service that he doesn't want to give, but would reluctantly agree to if paid the right amount. That's all that's happened.
That's fair. Both are cocks anyway, because you raise a valid point. You should not leak DMs.
I still don't see what Kios has done to be a cock, really. We're getting loosey-goosey with that term.
No, I just think it's stupid. I think it's just the word I would say. Stupid how much he overprices himself in that case.
I think he's done nothing wrong. Kios, this is the first time I've seen something you've done on the internet. And just like, yep, thumbs up.
Because I think he would probably get paid to do a podcast if he put himself a bit lower. And I don't think Kios has a problem being on podcasts.
I don't know who pays for podcast guests, but
no, that's the thing. But I think maybe K Busy wouldn't, but somebody probably would pay him 100 quid, 50 quid. Come on a podcast, do that. Somebody probably would do that. 100%.
Yeah, I still don't think he'd want that though. I still think he would need to be paid a stupid amount to do something he doesn't want to do. That's just how it works. So yeah, that's kind of the cock of the week. Very debatable cock this week.
Very debatable. I like that one.
Well, there's one very clear cock, but there's one cock under debate. One is slightly muddier than the other.
It's just stupid. I think he thinks that much of himself, and I think that's funny considering the player that he is.
I'd assume he doesn't. But let's get into something more interesting. Let's talk about a tier list. I'm going to make sure this isn't already exposed ahead of time. Okay, good, it's not. Let's get into it. We've got a tier list for you all. We're going from, tier 7 to tier 1. Quack, I will send you a screenshot of the finished thing so you don't have to, memorize it perfectly as I talk it through to interact with it, because I will need your suggestions for which teams you think are misplaced at the end of it. I think that'll be interesting to find out. But yeah, the scene's kind of in a weird spot. So we'll start at the bottom with this tier, which is never going to change name, just a heads up. But it has changed teams. Wildcards still have Big and MIBR. I'm still following them. I'm still interested. But I've thrown Gentlemates in there. Just because for me, they're in a really weird spot right now where when they play, they seem to play pretty damn well, especially on LAN. They're a threat to make the major still. And there's something about Alex's teams that just embodies the idea of being a wildcard. They just do, Sometimes they pop off. Sometimes they catch you off. So yeah, Gentlemates have been added to the wildcard tier alongside Big and MIBR. Down in tier 6, these are the feeders. They're going to be at big lands every now and then. Sometimes more consistently than others. But they're just going to lose. They're pretty much guaranteed to lose. That's Liquid, that's Monty, that's FaZe, that's NIP, that's NRG, and that is Pain. Yeah, not a lot of wins in their on their future, I think, on the horizon for them. Tier 6, we have not nothing. These teams are not nothing right now. There's a little bit of something to them. Various amounts of it. So we've got Legacy, who just had a pretty incredible Pro League run out of nowhere off the back of the art change. G2, who should still be way better than this, but have been massively disappointing. 3 Max, who still have some options to make upgrades, I think, but also at the same time, bringing in Masuta kind of was a slam dunk already, so they're probably not thinking about it. So they're still holding on to some sort of relevance. Astralis, who could have been the tier above, but I had to get brutal. There's only so many teams that have to fit. We have a strict pyramid structure with a little base. I call it a Christmas tree. So they had to fall down here. And Heroic, who somehow with Youngstar still pick up wins, still have impressive moments. Above them, there's Crossing Each Other. Now these are teams who seem to be crossing each other. Some are going up, some are going down. Most of them are going up, to be fair. It's just the one clearly going down right now. MOUZ on this tier with Foot, Aurora, and the Mongols. Some teams looking better day by day. I think cracking into that top 6 will be tough. But hey, not impossible, especially with the level of CS we've seen these guys play. And, well, honestly, the level of CS being played by the top 6 and the tier above them. Good qualities growing for some of these teams. Na'Vi. The things that we hope to see more of, needed to see more of. We saw more of at Pro League, and then it kept going at Blast Rotterdam. Falcons are just here because they had to be. They're just here because they had to be. I mean, I guess I could make this more about Monacy still showing good form. Nico's having some better games this year than he was at the end of last year, where we're thinking, maybe it's the end for Nico. That's why the calls for Nico IGL got really strong, really ferocious towards the end. Then Spirit. You know what? Donk is still a fucking monster. The rest of this roster, the not so good qualities, need some addressing. Let's put it that way. But the good qualities are growing. It's not the number of them, it's just what they are. They keep getting better. In the second tier, we have Teetering. This tier was the hardest to fill. It's Paravision, it's Furia. I made this tier list before Furia got eliminated by Falcons, by the way, at Blast Rotterdam. But I'm sticking with it, holding to my guns, really, sticking to them, because Furia have made some grand finals this year, or at least one grand final. They've beaten some decent teams. Paravision, I think, are undeniably second tier right now. And that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy to me. And of course, number 1 is the great, the mighty, the powerful Eyeballers. No, of course, it's Vitality. The champions, unchanged from last time we did this tier list. Just to go through some of the changes quickly, because I do have a screenshot of what it was last time. Last time, the second tier was Spirit and Furia. The third tier was MOUZ, Falcons, and Paravision. So one of those teams goes down, one of those teams goes up. The tier below was Na'Vi, G2, Aurora, Astralis. So Astralis take a step down just because of how good Foot and Mongols have been. G2 mostly go down just from their own failings. So despite, this is how tough it is, how brutal this system is when you have limited spaces. Astralis have played well. They've lived up to the expectations I set for them, and yet have had to go down because I think Mongols are better, I think Foot are better. And I don't think dropping MOUZ 2 tiers would make sense. I think this Rotterdam exit is a blip. They will never get smashed in the same way they did at this event again. I don't see that being the case. I just think they're no longer the top 4 team they were before. In the tier below that was, this is going to make you all laugh, I'm sure, BC Game, Foot, 3D Max, Mongols, and FaZe. Down beneath them was Liquid, Gamer Legion, Heroic, NIP, NRG, and Pain. And the wildcards, all that's changed was that Bait used to be down there and have now fallen out entirely. I'm just kind of done with Bait. They need more changes. Quack. Do you have the stream open, or do you need that screenshot? I realize you could just have the stream open.
I have it.
Okay.
I have it.
Take a look. Take your pick. Who do you think's in the wrong spot? Who would you swap?
Okay, so going top to bottom, I think after the game we just had, it's very reasonable to swap Falcons and Furia.
100% agreed. I just made this before the game.
Yes. So I'm just gonna get that out of the way.
Sure.
I agree that it's very tough with that fourth tier because I think ahead of time I was thinking, well, no matter where you place them, I think Astralis and Foot have to be on the same tier. But the thing is, I can't put Astralis up over one of the others. I don't think. So I think they just have to go to Not Nothing. But like, if I was going to rank the tiers, I think Astralis would be top of Not Nothing for me.
Yes,
because
if I had to do within the tier rankings, yeah, they would be ahead of G2 in that tier. Yeah. And ahead of 3D Max, ahead of Heroic, ahead of Legacy. Like, they've just had a really good start, despite, some limitations.
Yeah. So there I agree. It's a change that I was like, oh, that's wrong. But then, no, I can't make it better. So that's... Then the one thing I think I would change is that I would swap Monty and 3D Max. Because I think 3D Max are pretty much nothing. Yeah. And Monty have had good results this year. In big events. Monty beat Paravision. Monty beat Heroic. Monty beat NRG. Monty has beaten Navi this year. Monty has stomped all tier 2 opposition that might end up in that wildcard tier. They beat NIP in those events. They've beaten a team like a team that could be one of those wildcard bubblers, like Illwill. They beat them twice on LAN. They take maps of Astralis. They took a map again off of Navi in ESL Pro League. Like I think Monty should go up. 3D Max just haven't really done anything whatsoever. I don't see 3D Max.
Well, if we're just counting random wins against random better teams and random losses, Monty have lost to FaZe 2-0, Legacy 2-0, Navi. And more importantly, 3D Max have also beaten Foot and Furia. Like, 3D Max have had wins against teams above them, well above them in the rankings. So I do think there's no basis to say Monty have better results. And then off the back of that, to say I don't believe Monty are a better team than 3D Max. I have no reason to believe they are a better team than 3D Max. I don't see 3D Max going to Roman Imperium and losing 2-0 to Fnatic. Let's just put it that way.
I do.
Like, I think that's ridiculous. So, no.
I do. 3D Max will lose to anyone. Say it with me. And this is
but they will also actually beat teams and be competitive and not get straight 0-3'd in stage 2 of Pro League like Monty did. Like, in terms of actual results, Monty have been worse, I'd say. And also in terms of the ability of the team to do more, I do think they are more limited than 3D Max. I'm not that hyped. I think Monty are probably one of the better teams in the feeder tier. I just don't think they're better than 3D Max.
One, yeah. No, I just think Monty are doing very well. 3D Max is a team that I think are still stagnating, starting to decline a little bit.
They're stagnating higher than Monty, and I don't think declining. Did you watch them play with Masuta, man? They played better. They got better. You can't say they're stagnating when they played better with their new change. That's ridiculous.
I don't think that's. I think that's what I would swap. I think they're similar, but Monty are slightly better. And if I'm projecting what I think will happen, I think I put them higher. 3D Max lost to Focus today, by the way. Funnily. Anyway, there's one more change I would make.
By any chance in a best of one?
No comment. There's one change one other change that I would make, and I agree with the reasoning for putting M8 Gentle Mates in. That's actually a good reasoning, and they deserve to be there. There's one team which I think maybe deserves to be in there a little bit, and it is Tyloo. Because I think Tyloo showed really good stuff here in Rotterdam. And the fact that they are so far down on the VRS is more so a fact of the system than a sign of how they play. I think they played really well in Rotterdam.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch their OT map win on Inferno against Falcons. I watched the 2 maps where they got utterly fucking wrecked. Like, spread open and fucked and just pure aim checked by Falcons. Like, they couldn't produce anything to match Falcons on any level. Like, Falcons didn't have to try. They just shot them in the head. Like the one thing Tyloo was supposed to be good at, Falcons just went like, they're not that. Just fucking straight first bullet at them. I'm sorry they got fucking paneled. Like that's just nah. I can't watch that and be like, you know, Tyloo are gonna bring the heat. Like they need to sort themselves out. There's still a long shot from being a wild card for me.
They beat FaZe. They won a map against Falcons, Inferno, nonetheless. That's I would say a good Falcons map. And they played a fairly close 2-0 loss against Furia as well. I would say that Tyloo have at least shown stuff good enough to be put in that tier, because I don't see Gentlemates making a run like against top teams, and I don't see Tyloo making a run against them either. But I see them taking the occasional win. Gentlemates is more one of those that, on their best day, like in their absolute best form, I think Gentlemates will beat everyone in not nothing or below fairly consistently. I don't see Gentlemates pretty much ever beating a Navi or a Furia or a Perivision consistently. Tyloo, I could see them punch up a bit more often. They'd also lose a bit more often, and they don't show up in as many of these events. But I think they're a bit forgotten because they sit so low in the ranking, because they've literally played 21 maps this year so far. So as to, like, when they are going to be in the major, I think there's a good chance they go through to the second stage. And by that point, they are top 24, and they deserve to be somewhere on this Christmas tree, which is exactly 24 teams.
Wishful thinking, I think. I don't see.
It might be. It's just I think if there's one team which, you know, Tyloo could be up here, they could be down here. Gentlemates are more like a. That's not like Big and MIBR. I think are exactly the same as Tyloo. MIBR could be up here. They could also be down here. Big are very like exciting. It's like they play very, very, very well right now in a lower tier of opposition. They could be up here. They could also be down here.
I also need to like remind us more like here. Of what the framing I had for the wildcard tier in the first set of this, and that remains true to this day. It's also not a real tier. It is just me wanting to put teams up that I want to talk about. And Tyloo, I don't want to talk about, because I don't think they're going to be very good. I think they are going to be bad this season. I think next season they could be a lot better. But this season, I've watched them play a bit. I'm not that moved. They're looser than before. They're worse than before. They're just not as good as they need to be really relevant in these conversations.
It's fair, but for changes I want to talk about them, so I'm putting them there. I think that they showed good stuff in Rotterdam. So for the rest, I think they have some more stuff coming up as well, like just in the season as well.
They should,
as their VRS. Yeah, so I'm watching them. Like I'm gonna look forward to Tyloo games. That's that Asia Championships, for example, which they're playing in May, just before the major. Weirdly enough, since it's always been a fall season event previously, but anyway, that actually has like VRS invites off of the global ranking. It's a $1 million event just before the major. I expect we're going to see some like top 15 teams there, and I think Tyloo could beat a couple of them. Yeah, could be fun.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll be interested in
I like this list,
the XSE Chenqui, fuck me. XSE Chenqui, that one. That's the cup we're talking about, right? With the big Asia RMR.
Oh, no. I mean, that one as well. That one I think Tyloo have a good chance of winning. I mean the CS Asia Championships, which is that one event that FaZe have won a couple of times.
But the reason I want to talk, I was actually mentioning XSE, wasn't that I was confused. It's just that I think that event will show me exactly how good Tyloo are. Like, because currently I think it's not that great. But if they utterly cream that event, if they do smash it, go straight maps basically through it, I'll allow some conversation.
Yeah, everyone except for Lin Vision are at this event, and I think Tyloo are in a very good spot to win it. So yeah, I mean, you see off of their HLTV rank is still 26th, but their VRS is 82nd. I think that's why they get a bit forgotten, because VRS is a little bit more recency bias-y.
Easy to influence.
Yeah, other than that, I very much agree with this. To be honest, it's none of the top tiers I really disagree with. The middle tier is nice. Feeders, yeah. You could make an argument for some teams making it like exiting tiers entirely, putting in some others, but honestly, no. These are the best ones, I think.
Okay, right. Let's get into our next little segment. We're into the Retake Games. Quack, you don't have a game this week, but I do.
Oh.
This shouldn't take you too long. I haven't picked the player yet, so it's a bit like, you know how you like to do that, not hot cold thing. Cold. It doesn't really feel like hot or cold. It feels more like, you know, arbitrary statement, number assignment. But instead, I'm just going to do a 20 questions type of game.
Oh.
But it's yes or no questions. So just gonna get a bunch of yes or no's out of me, and you're gonna try and figure out. I'm gonna say it's a player because player or always gets a bit confusing as far as what you should be even aiming for. So I'm gonna literally randomly generate in the best way I can a player from Counter-Strike. Go and forward history, and you're gonna try and get to them.
And I have 20 questions to do so.
There's 20 too many. 20 is probably too many. Let's go 10. 10 yes or no questions.
10.
And you can ask for one hint.
Yes.
Okay. Let me get to this player's page so I can actually tell you all the full truth and honest truth and no lies. I have a player in my head.
Okay, usually when you start 20 questions, the first question is, are they a man? Because you want to eliminate 50% of the population immediately. See, the thing is, if I was doing this game, I would pick a female player just because of that, but I'm not going to ask that. So let's see. Is this player active today? I think it's a good first question. Actively playing today.
So not benched, not necessarily retired, but what are we asking?
Benched is okay, but like no, they're not retired. They're not a coach. They're not a whatever the fuck.
Okay.
They're a streamer.
Okay, just making sure I'm answering the right questions here. Yes, this player's active.
Active. Okay. Let's do another broad one. Are they European?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, not making things. Actually, yeah. See, it's interesting that you asked that. That you asked. You were making sure to answer the right question.
Well, yeah, because I've got to check some things. Got to clarify because active could mean bench, could mean retired. Is active or inactive? I don't know where your line is on that. So just to make sure I'm not misleading you, I have to check.
Okay. Has this player played a big event in 2026?
Big event
by
the HLTV.
I get tier 1 event. Tier 1 event, yeah.
That's less specific.
No, but the ones we've had, I can list them. Blast Bounty, Blast Open, whatever the fuck PGL event. Cluj was it maybe?
Okay, we're including basically the big events and their online stages. Essentially is what you want to include.
Yeah. I think there's been 5. Krakow, 2 Blast events, a PGL event, and ESL Pro League. Yeah.
Okay, so no.
No big event. Ooh, okay. Okay. So that's interesting.
I just watched that Zywoo 1v5, by the way. Kind of nuts.
I have a player in mind already, but the thing is, I don't think you'd go for him because I had him in a game the other week. And I was trying to be sneaky and picking somebody who was in the news. Is this player from a country? That's not my question. I'm pretty sure they are. Are they from a country which is east of Germany? And if they're from Germany, then that's a yes.
So east of Germany. Does in line with Germany count as east of
Germany? Let's say Berlin.
And east of Berlin. Does the entire country have to be east of Berlin, or just
no?
Any part of the country?
Yes, any part of the country. I think I can figure it out. Draw a vertical line in Berlin.
Yeah, I just need to open a map. Hang on. I was trying to do it in my head, then I realized I don't know exactly where Berlin is. I don't know exactly what's
okay, so I'll tell you the countries that are in line are Sweden, Norway, Czechia, Austria, and Italy are the ones that are in line with
I think
Berlin.
the answer to your question is no, but I may have not entirely answered your question.
Okay, so they're probably from Western Europe then. So I'm thinking maybe it's a French player, maybe it's a Spanish player, maybe a Portuguese player. Could be Danish as well. Danish, French, Spanish, Portuguese are feeling very good at the moment. Actually, you could have gone for like a Gizmi. Oh, but he's played big events. Never mind. Okay. And so have the Portuguese players on BC Game. Okay, no. I'll just write this down. West of Berlin. See, that was a nice question. They haven't played a big event. So the player I had in mind, I'll just say for the audience, was JL. But I had him in a game the other week. It's possible that you would pick him. That would explain why you asked about the benched thing as well. But he is active. He is actively competing, or at least wants to be. He hasn't called it quits on his pro career. Have Gentle Mates played a big event this year? I'm not sure they have. Yes, they played Bounty. Anyone missing from Bounty? Many teams were missing from Bounty. I'm kind of stumped at the moment because where would I even go at this point? I could go for another geographical one. Would you say that this player is from a warm country?
Warm.
Yeah, temperature-wise.
Temperature-wise, okay, just making sure because there's other options. No, I wouldn't say it's a warm country. Not by European standards, not by international standards. Probably not. No. That
eliminates the Iberian Peninsula, which is good. Because then it's not going to be somebody. Yeah. I'm still in like a tier 1 headspace, despite not being a player from there. I'm thinking Danish. Is this player Nordic?
Yes.
Ooh. My mind has immediately gone to Bird from Sky. Have you made content with this person?
I made content with this player.
Yes. Like, have they appeared on
your
YouTube?
Then the person, not them.
Yes,
as a
yes,
concept.
with them, yeah.
No.
Okay, that eliminates. That's actually good because that eliminates Snappy. It eliminates Bird from Sky. Because now I'm trying to. So he has not featured in the Kingt cinematic universe, at least not more than a cameo. Let's see. Okay, we're down to 8. My 8th question. So that eliminates. That's actually very good. It eliminates Snappy and Bird from Sky, who I know are 2 players that you might just go to because they're top of your mind. I'm gonna go for an age one now. I think that's very good. Is this player below 22 years old? If they are 22, they're above.
No.
Oh, the 22 or older. Okay. That eliminates Male 09. And you wouldn't go for like another. I don't think you'd go for another one of the Alliance players. Also eliminates Poi. I have to narrow it down further. I have 2 more questions, and I know they're Nordic. Not gonna be Sierra because he's also. I'm thinking Device or Rain. Device or Rain would be good answers. You wouldn't go for a Johnny Speeds player. Is this player Norwegian?
No.
I should have gone for Danish instead. Can I get a hint?
Okay.
Before I do my final question. Do I have one more question and a guess, or do I need to guess on the next one?
You get 10 actual questions.
All right, yeah. Okay. And what's my hint?
Okay, your hint. This player has a HLTV top 20 appearance.
It smells like Device. It really does smell like Device. It really does smell like Device. Because I don't think you would consider somebody like Valde. I'm thinking it's very Danish. It's very Danish. AW played in Blast Bounty online stage as well. He would already be disqualified. Nobody else on that Eyeballers team has top 20 appearance. Twist doesn't have a top 20 appearance. Prims was also in Blast Bounty. Yeah, it really does smell like Device. Is this player Danish?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Sorry. Yes.
Ish. I'm gonna have to say Device. Is it Device?
No, it is not Device.
It's probably Magisk at that point.
It is not Magisk either.
Stown?
It's not Stown.
Fuck. Okay, then I'm just horrible.
It was Valde.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so
when was the last time?
I literally opened the HLTU ranking, clicked 2020, just looked at the teams and was like, who's a player that's like a little interesting and like not necessarily like super relevant. And I saw OG and I was torn between like Issa and Valde. And I was like, I'll go Valde. Screw it. That'll be harder for him to pinpoint if he gets to the country too quickly. But yeah, it took you a bit longer than I expected to get to a country. You're asking really weird questions, like in line with Germany, and then in line with Berlin, but then Sweden is on the line with Berlin, and so's Norway. So I thought those were both eliminated by your logic. They're both in line with Berlin. So
yes, I did mention that Norway was in line with Berlin. Yeah, that was a dumb question to ask, and I don't know why. I was pretty sure it was a Danish player anyway. But I even mentioned Valde, and I said you're probably not going to go for him because I completely forgot the fact that Valde actually played last year, like half a year ago. He played games, so I was like, no, he wouldn't think Valde was active. But then the thing is, like, no, he's only been benched for about 6 months. Like, you can absolutely still be active at that point. Fuck. Okay.
I did check just to make sure, like, benched is active.
Yeah.
You said, yeah. So, yeah, it was fine.
That one's on me, but that was a really good one. We should play that one again.
We now have we're going to speed run the rest of the Eternal Shuffle and everything, because I need the loo. And I also need to leave sooner rather than later. So let's get into the Eternal Shuffle. Quack, yes. There's some moves. Give me them and I'll grade them.
You'll get this first one while I look up this other one I've actually forgot about. FaZe have cut Neo, their coach, if you have forgotten. And their assistant coach, Groovy, is taking the reins temporarily, which I assume just means until the end of the season, because what are they going to do? Actually, there's one thing they're going to do.
This is, the move that had to happen. Like, they had to make a change somewhere. And, well, they're not going to sign someone right now. So, yeah, I guess coach cut. It's not really a particularly great move, because a lot of the details my analysts should be clearing up, as Ted pointed out on Overcommed, they're not even doing particularly well. So, yeah, I'll give them a C. Like, I guess by default you did something, but it's just not very impressive what you did do.
Yeah, fair. Who would you want them to get instead?
I think Ash would be an interesting addition, just in terms of like a coach who just adds something tactical to the team, like clears up some details. I think would be helpful. Yeah,
I think I agree with that, but I think they should do it in the off season, because I think at this point, like I said, FaZe I don't think will make the major. I think they will get blown up, and I think there's if there even is a FaZe project at that point, it would be a complete rebuild, and it wouldn't be worth just having a coach for 3 months. At that point, you might as well have Groovy. Just let him do it for 3 months. If you're just putting somebody in, nobody's gonna have a real impact in 3 months. So, yeah. The second change I was gonna mention was, which isn't in the sheet, but I'm about to bring it up. I just need to find exactly what it was. Was there a grade for cutting Neo, by the way, while I do that?
Yeah, I gave it a C.
Nice. Supposedly, according to Offstage, Artfrost and Dillades have visa issues. So for BC Game Masters and Stake, and one of them would have to play the major if they make the major, will be played with Flamus and Zorti instead for BetBoom. So you have Boomage.
Choice, is it?
No, but Boomage, Siren. Who even is the fifth player on the team?
Manoyez.
Mayonnaise. Flamus and Zorte would be the roster. And that's just a fun one.
Yeah, no, it's as far as a way to recover from having to make this change because of these issues, I have to give them an A, because those are pretty solid players to have to bring in as your panic replacements. honestly, I think that the fit's a bit awkward with Flamus. It'd probably end up with Manoyes taking some more passiveness, more passive roles.
Yeah.
But I think it can work. He's talented, so no, I don't hate it. I'll give him probably a strong B+, all things considered.
Yep. Fnatic have cut Madden after just 3 months of 0.9 rated games. And Bratko has come in from Lasercats. Fnatic now have 4 Ukrainian players and Crims.
Not the worst idea to bring in Bratko if you're making this change. But I don't think Madden was playing... I just don't think Madden's that terrible of a player. It's just this team is terrible.
Yes.
I just think Fnatic are kind of ass. And he wasn't used very well at all. Madden could do better. Fnatic hopefully will do better with Bratko, but this project seems doomed. So I'll give them a B for trying, but this is just not going to go very well.
All right. Yep. I don't have any read on Bratko whatsoever. I had never heard of him before.
He puts up numbers on Lasercats. I've seen him pop up a few times.
All right. Fair. Metasports have benched Jaquinho, and I think this is going to be a permanent signing, but they only announced it as a move for the Journey event. Stanislaw is coaching them, so round about 6 months after we gave them this idea, they've actually reunited Vince and Stanislaw.
Yeah, I don't like Metasport. I've made that clear. They've been stupid a lot, despite having cool merch. This is a decent enough move. I'll give them a strong B. I still don't think they're going to be very good, though.
They have made playoffs of Journey by beating Unity twice and playing overtime against Gamer Legion on one map and double digits on the other. All right. I actually don't like this change at all, despite the fact that we were going on and on about please just sign Vince and Stanislaw. Please just sign Vince and Stanislaw. I think it's way too late. And everything I've heard about Stanislaw and everything I've seen him do after leaving Wildcard and kind of seeing what Metasport have done with Vince afterwards kind of made me feel like maybe it just isn't that good in reality. And also, what they did with Wildcard, they did with 4 players who are now themselves all gone different. Like, after going their separate ways, they're all set to go to the Cologne Major and like are genuinely on teams that are inside the top 20 in the world. Stanislaw and Vince are the only pieces from that 2 majors wildcard squad that aren't doing that. So hey, anyway, that's a move. Jaquinho said he wasn't happy with his roles or in the team, similar to Melo9, and he's going to try to find a project where he can perform better individually. Do you think he will?
No, he's shit.
All right, we are going to move on. Infinite have signed a fun new roster. Krias, Slend, Detour, and then they brought back MHN1, and they are trialing QQ. This is fun, isn't it? F for fun.
I'd rather they'd have stuck with Adex than do this. No, I don't really love this entire. I think it's going to work fine. They're going to be better than they were. So in that sense, I'll give them an A. They have upgraded. They have signed some good players. Just I like Adex. I'd like to see him stick around, but who cares? In reality, is they've gotten better. So I'll give them their A.
Yeah, all right, nice. Sparta. The next 2 moves are literally just orgless teams finding an org. Sparta have signed Whitebird, Nickelback, Lackey, Ellie, and Forrester and Travis, who actually did win a CCT season. Yep. I think just recently. They now have an org. They're running it back. A classic roster. This time without Crad, though.
Yeah, not the worst idea. For Sparta, this is a pretty decent pickup. Like, rather than gambling on a random mix, you got a mix that's played quite a bit together. So, astute signing for them. This team's 50-something in VRS, so yeah, not terrible.
Yep. It's actually funny how Crad was one of the players that got replaced by the signing of this roster. Anyway, ESC have signed back Friendly Campers, where they played before the push roster.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. They're back.
They had them. They have them back. Whatever.
Yeah. And finally, this is a move that I included specifically for you. Kadeo has found a new Kazakhstani team to play for. He is now on Depot.
They're not Kazakhstani.
No, you're right. They're actually from Uzbekistan.
They're Uzbeks, yeah. No, I saw this team pop up when I was doing the Alua Cyberland Cup coverage. That might have been with Tony, maybe. Or it was with you and you forgot that we talked about them. But anyway, yeah, Kadeo on this team. I've looked at a demo of Shiseido out of curiosity. Wasn't anything special, unfortunately. The level of this team isn't special. But hey, Kadeo's not a terrible player, so maybe they'll get slightly better.
This I remember we talked about them, but the transfer was finalized just now, and that marks the fact that he has now played for All Inners, Novak, and Depot over the course of about 5 weeks. Or 4 weeks, rather.
Impressive.
That's fun for him. Impressive.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Uzbekistani teams are on the Asian ranking. They could also make the major. No, they could. But next major, maybe.
If they get an Uzbekistani event rolling somehow through some bullshit, yeah, they probably could.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the show as we always do with Prospect of the Week. Quack, I'm going to let you go first. Who have you picked? I'm going to pretend I've never heard of this guy.
Yes, this is a guy called Alv, and you remember him from playing on Nine Pandas.
You're terrible at pretending I've never heard of him, but okay, yes.
Yes, he now plays on Ursa, and this week alone, he's actually been like top of the stats sheet for a long time now. For quite a while, and I've just passed him over because I don't have anything interesting to say about him. He's played 29 maps this week, and he's gone nuts in pretty much all of them, so at this point it was kind of undeniable. He was shit on Nine Pandas. He was outright trash. I cannot describe it any other way. But he's absolutely balling on Ursa against honestly decent tier 2 opposition. Like, he's playing 1 win, he's playing K27, he's playing Los Cogutos and Sangal and Astral and Big Academy and Ecstatic, and he's stomping on them. So, all in all, this is kind of undeniable. Maybe this kid actually is a good opera after all.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see him get maybe another chance off this, or maybe this team just ends up playing more relevant events. I mean, so far, that's a pretty decent set of opposition. It's not actually that terrible a field, so yeah, interesting to see Alv take a step up. Yeah, my pick, also Russian. It's Texi, twin of Nota, who has had a very strong week with Nemesis. He's still actually currently playing right now. Just finished a 25-21 map loss to K27, where he dropped 31 and 31 and a 111 rating. But yeah, over the course of the week, yeah, had some crazy performances against TDK and Rottweilers. That really carried a pretty huge rating. Opening a lot more than I'm used to seeing him open, as far as the stat sheet. But still also clearly being alive in the late round. Very long time alive per round stat. He is more closer than Nota. You know, Nota was a strong opener, decent closer in his tier 2 days. Texi, more of a meh opener, strong closer. Though we're seeing his game progress in much the same way as Notus did, where he's adding to the part of his game that was weaker. So yeah, Texi, just adding to the Moskivitin fucking legacy in CS. Those guys are maybe one day reunited when they reach their full potential. That'd be fun.
Yeah, he's a good player. He keeps doing good stuff. Nemesis, technically still in the majors because they'll be at that stake ranked event, and I guess if they win and some other teams fuck up, then yeah, good job. Well, it'll actually be fun to see him play against G2 because that's a nice test for him.
Yeah, it certainly will be. But yeah, those are our prospects of the week. That's the show. Thank you for tuning in live rather than listening to the commentary of the Vitality game or whatever else it was that people had on right now, because there was other games to watch, I'm sure. If you're watching on the VOD, you made it this far, you're our hero. Thank you to members for supporting the channel. And yeah, that's all for this one. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.